have always considered myself a rational person. I did not believe in ghosts, spirits, cursed houses, and all that nonsense they show in horror movies at night. Therefore, when, after the divorce, I was offered to rent a small, one-bedroom apartment at a very low price, I didn't even think for a minute. An old 9-story building on the very outskirts of the city, the 4th floor. A dark, smelly entrance with broken light bulbs, graffiti on the walls, and a constant smell of dampness and urine. But the apartment itself looked decent. Fresh renovation, new plumbing, plastic windows. And most importantly, complete silence. No children's screams from above, no loud music from below, no neighbors' footsteps. Perfect to finally be alone and come to my senses after everything that happened to me in recent months. The landlord was an elderly man with a tired, grey face. He almost never looked me in the eyes when showing the apartment. He just said that the previous tenant had moved out very suddenly and left almost all his things. I could throw them away or keep them. He didn't care. I didn't ask why that person left so quickly. I didn't care. I just wanted my own corner where no one would bother me with questions, pity, and advice. The first 2 weeks, everything was really fine. I settled in, arranged my things, and started working remotely at the computer. In the evenings, I cooked a simple dinner in the kitchen, watched series, and sometimes went out to the small balcony to smoke and look at the city lights below. Sometimes at night, footsteps could be heard in the entrance or a door slammed, but that was normal for an old panel building. I even started getting used to the constant coolness in the apartment. The radiators were hot, but the room still had a slight chill, as if somewhere a window was slightly open or there was a draft from cracks in the walls. I thought it was just poor thermal insulation in the old panel walls. The first thing that alerted me happened in the 3rd week. I always left the apartment keys on a small nightstand right by the front door. In the morning, they weren't there. I searched the entire apartment. The nightstand, the table, the jacket pockets, even looked in the bathroom and kitchen. Nowhere. I was already starting to get nervous, thinking I had lost the only set of keys. And in the evening, when I returned from the store, I found them hanging on the hook in the bathroom, next to the towel. I definitely didn't hang them there. I only had one set of keys, and I couldn't understand how they got there and who put them there while I was out. I chalked it up to my own absent-mindedness. I decided that I was just very tired and didn't remember my actions. It happens to everyone. 2 days later, food disappeared from the refrigerator. I bought a pack of sausages and put them on the top shelf. The next morning, there were exactly 3 less. I didn't eat them. I didn't have dinner at home that evening at all. I ordered pizza and ate it at the computer. On the kitchen table there was a frying pan with leftover fried onions. I hadn't fried onions in several days. The smell lingered in the apartment all day, soaked into the wallpaper and furniture. One night, I woke up because someone was walking in the bathroom. I heard water quietly flowing from the tap. I got up and went to the bathroom door. I didn't turn on the light. I listened. Water was flowing. I opened the door. The tap was closed, but the mirror was fogged up, as if someone had just taken a shower. On the floor were wet, barefoot footprints leading from the bathroom straight to my bed. The footprints were my size. I definitely didn't get up at night. I wiped the floor with a rag and lay back down, but I couldn't sleep anymore. I started checking all the windows every evening and locking the door with all 3 locks. I even put an old wooden chair under the front door handle at night. It gave at least some sense of control over the situation, but the sense of control quickly disappeared. One day, I woke up in the middle of the night. It was exactly 3:17 on the phone clock. The room was dark. Only the weak orange light from the street lamp came through the thin curtains. I was lying on my back and suddenly realized that I couldn't move. It wasn't ordinary sleep paralysis. I felt every muscle in my body, every tension in my arms and legs. but they didn't obey me. I tried to move my fingers. Nothing. I tried to turn my head. Nothing. Even tried to scream. No voice came out. And then I saw him. Right by the bed, just half a meter from my face, stood a person. The silhouette was clear, even in the semi-darkness. A man of average height, in dark clothes that blended with the darkness of the room. I didn't see his face. It remained in the deep shadow from the window, but I felt that he was looking straight at me. For a very long time, not moving, not breathing, I felt his gaze on my skin, as if someone was running cold fingers over me. Then he slowly leaned closer. I heard the floor creak under his weight. And then he smiled. The smile was unnaturally wide. It stretched the face from one ear to the other, like a clown from a childhood nightmare. The teeth were white and perfectly even. Too even, too white. He leaned even closer, and I saw his eyes. They were completely black, without whites, without pupils, just two black pits looking at me. And in those pits I saw my own reflection, small and frightened. I closed my eyes with all my strength, trying to wake up, trying to make my body move. When I opened them, no one. The apartment was empty. I turned on the light, got up, searched every room, every closet, even looked under the bed and in the storage room. The doors were locked from the inside. The windows were closed with all the latches. No one. I sat in the kitchen until morning with a kitchen knife in my hands and looked at the front door. Every minute expecting the handle to start slowly turning, and behind it, that smile would appear. In the morning, I decided that it was just a very realistic dream, or the consequences of stress after the divorce. I even tried to joke to myself out loud, but my own voice in the empty apartment sounded somehow alien and too loud, as if it wasn't my voice. In the evening, I decided to check myself. I put the phone on the chest of drawers, turned on video recording for the whole night, and pointed the camera straight at the bed. I wanted to understand if I walk in my sleep and do something strange that I don't remember later. In the morning, I opened the recording with trembling hands. The first 2 hours, I sleep peacefully, even snoring a little. Then, at 3:19, I see my body slowly sitting up on the bed. The gait when I get up is wrong. The knees almost don't bend, as if the legs are wooden or someone else's. I walk up to the phone, look straight into the lens, and smile. That same wide, unnatural smile that stretches the face to the ears. Then I raise my hand and turn off the recording. The video ends. I didn't remember any of this. I didn't get up at night. I didn't walk up to the phone. And I definitely never smiled like that in my life. That creepy, too wide smile that didn't belong to me. After that, I started noticing reflections everywhere. There was a large mirror covering the entire wall above the sink in the bathroom. One morning, while brushing my teeth, I saw in the reflection that someone was standing behind me in the hallway. I quickly turned around. Empty. Turned back to the mirror. No one. But when I blinked, the reflection blinked with a noticeable delay, a fraction of a second later. I checked this several times in a row. Every time, a tiny but obvious delay, as if the reflection lived its own life and wasn't in a hurry to repeat after me. I started avoiding mirrors. I covered the large mirror in the bathroom with an old sheet. I broke the small mirror in the hallway, supposedly by accident. But there were only more reflections. I saw my face in the window glass of the balcony door, in the black screen of the turned-off TV, in the polished surface of the kitchen table, even in the spoon when I ate soup. Every time, the reflection smiled a little earlier than I did myself, as if it knew that I was about to smile and did it first, as if it was ahead of me and showing what would happen next. One night, I decided not to go to bed. I sat in the kitchen with the light on and looked at the door to the bedroom. Around 3 in the morning, I saw how in the corner of the room, where it was dark, a figure slowly began to appear. It stood and looked at me. I turned on the light in the bedroom. No one. I turned off the light. The figure was there again, in the corner. It didn't move. It just stood and smiled. I sat like that until morning, not taking my eyes off it. I decided to move out immediately. I started packing my things into a suitcase. While I was folding clothes, I heard slow, heavy footsteps behind me. I turned around. No one. But the footsteps continued. They followed me around the apartment. When I stopped, they stopped. When I walked faster, they sped up. I felt cold air touching my neck, as if someone was standing right behind me and breathing on the back of my head. I even smelled a slight odor, sweetish, like old clothes that had been lying in a closed closet for a long time. I started breaking all the mirrors in the apartment. I broke the one in the bathroom, in the hallway, even the small one in the closet. But after that, I started seeing my reflection everywhere. In the balcony glass, in car windows on the street, in puddles after the rain. And everywhere, it smiled at me first, as if by breaking the mirrors, I had only freed it. I ran out of the apartment without closing the door. I ran down the stairs, stumbling on every flight. On the 3rd floor, I fell, badly hitting my knee on the corner of the step. I raised my head. On the landing, a floor above, stood a person. Again, me. He looked down. He slowly raised his hand and waved at me. The smile on his face was no longer just wide. It was happy, almost ecstatic, as if he had been waiting for this moment for a very long time and had finally gotten it. As if he was glad that I saw him. I ran out to the street, stopped the first car I saw, and left for acquaintances in another district of the city. The things remained in the apartment. I didn't even think about going back for them. I just wanted to get as far away as possible from that house. 8 months have already passed. I now live in another city with my parents. I only sleep with the light on. Every morning, approaching the mirror, I look into my own eyes for a long time. I check if my lips are moving by themselves. Sometimes it seems to me that the corner of my mouth begins to slowly, very slowly rise up, as if someone inside me is learning to smile with my face, learning to control it, learning to be me. I know that one day he will smile completely, and then no one will ever understand where I end and where it begins.